This demo is going to be for the moving targets project that you will be working on this week. So these moving targets are going to involve a lot of different types of line and line weights. So we'll get to line weights a little bit later, but these targets are going to be an example of concentric circles, or circles inside of circles inside of circles. So we're going to work on filling up each box with enough concentric circles to go all the way to the edges. So let's get started, because these can be very simple or they can become very nicely detailed. So we're going to start with a 4x3 grid, and we're going to start by folding our paper horizontally, or have our paper horizontal and fold it in half so we make like a little booklet. Give that a nice crease, and then fold that one more time. So we have a nice crease here. From here you're going to fold this into thirds. So we want to stay away from this, like I like to call it the barn door effect, where it kind of meets in the middle. You want to overlap them. So kind of just visualize a third or a square of this long rectangle here, and you're going to fold it over the middle and then fold that other part over the middle as well. Now mine is not perfectly even. Okay, I've got a little bit of overhang, but it will still work for what we're doing. So open that, flatten it. If it's a little crunchy, you can kind of fold things the opposite way. Kind of just loosen it up a little bit, and that will help flatten your paper. Just kind of fold things in their opposite direction. So now you'll take a ruler, and I like to use a chisel tip Sharpie, but if you just would like to use a regular marker, that's okay. But I think this works the best with dividing up the boxes in a very bold way. So we'll go through all these lines here. And holding the ruler down and drawing alongside of it is a great example of craftsmanship, just kind of making sure that that line is going to stay straight. Hold that ruler down nice and firm. So go along this last one here. Alright, so now we have our grid here. So you're going to start in each box by drawing a small circle or a small dot. And you want to try to not put it in the same spot in each box, because then our targets won't look like they're swirling around a central point. So don't just put them all in the exact middle. Try to put them in different places. Go up here. So then our targets will kind of be centered a little differently in each box. So there we go. It's okay if you have a few that are right in the middle, but just make sure that they're all kind of scattered. So from here, this is where line weight is going to come into play. If you feel comfortable just drawing everything with a Sharpie, you can certainly do that. But if you would like to start by drawing in pencil first, maybe draw a few rings on here, and then outline them with Sharpie, you can do it that way too, but that is up to you. So I'm going to just start by kind of going around here, and then I'm going to actually switch. Let's see, we'll use this skinny Sharpie. So some of your rings can be close together and some can be spaced farther apart. It's all up to just kind of how detailed you want to make this. So this is where the line weight starts. So line weight is going to be line thicknesses. So I like to have the variety of line weights with my Sharpies. If you want to kind of keep everything, you know, consistent, or just use the same thing, you can, but that is up to you. So I'm going to just keep following along here. Maybe I'll leave a little more space as I get to the edges here between my rings. But notice that I did go all the way to the edge. So whenever you're filling these, you want to make sure that, just like we talk about filling the page, that you fill the space in each box, okay? But then you'll just move on to your next one. You can go in whatever order you want, as long as they all get filled. If you want to start to create a pattern, like, you know, wide, skinny, whatever you would like to do. So we'll do another one here. Sometimes the lines actually, you know, kind of line up pretty perfectly box to box. and it will make it look like it's kind of flowing into the next space. So kind of like this one that lines up right there. So sometimes they just make really cool designs there. But you want to draw your circles as if you are going to continue them even if your box wouldn't be ending. So you just kind of keep going. You might have to stop. You might have to think about what's on the other side. But you want to just keep them going as much as possible. So after you fill up all of your boxes, this is kind of my more complete example here. This is a great example of just very, crazy filled, line weights being all mixed together. You can see different ways that the boxes kind of flow. But if you would like to get a little more detailed, these are 2 examples of adding some different designs and patterns to them. And you can see all of these effects are just created by adding some zigzag lines or triangles in between the rows. So let me just show you that quickly, because it's kind of this aha moment that we have discovered over time and realize how awesome it looks. So you will just pick a ring and you'll just draw a zigzag line going through it. And if you want to just do, one of these in each box, you can, up to you. Another thing that we've figured out to add are just stripes to divide things up like that. If you want to do a pattern, like leave a few empty, do another one with stripes, you can do that too. But these zigzags and stripes just add so much to all of these rows of rings that I couldn't imagine even doing it in that simplified way anymore. So I love that we have discovered this from our students. Something else I've seen students do is do dots on the lines. So you could add, some little polka dots like that. So you get something like that. But you can see that these can become as, kind of crazy, filled as possible, or they can be very simple. So after you Sharpie, get everything kind of cleaned up, you can work on adding color, but then you will end and get your nice, beautiful moving targets.